A developing story we're following this morning. Officials in Burke County are investigating 4 deaths they believe may be connected. Investigators have not yet determined the circumstances surrounding the incident. Right now, no suspects have been identified. Officials ask if you see anything suspicious in that area to call 911. Of course, we'll have updates for you on air and online as we learn more. And classes will resume as normal today at Statesboro High School after a fire broke out there early Sunday morning. The Statesboro Fire Department was dispatched to the school after a fire alarm notification went off around 1 a.m. Statesboro High School Principal Keith Wright tells us the fire was contained to the main gymnasium concession stand, which is near the main hallway and the cafeteria. Fire Chief Tim Grams says dispatch was able to access the school cameras and saw the smoke. He says the sprinkler system was activated and helped put out those flames.
Some sort of ice cream machine that had malfunction that caused the fire, and then it kind of caught at the plastic chair, but the sprinkler system activated and extinguished the fire. So the guys really, when they got on scene, basically all they had to do was remove some smoke.
No injuries were reported, and school officials were on that scene as well, cleaning up after the fire. In Liberty County right now, the school system is reviewing a transportation incident after 2 students were placed on the wrong school bus Friday afternoon. District officials say the students, who are siblings, left Frank Long Elementary School. That was around 2:30. Despite having tags with transportation information attached to their book bags, they boarded the wrong bus, which was driven by a substitute driver. After the children's family notified the district they had not arrived at the correct bus stop, police and district officials started looking for the students. Those students were found around 4 p.m. and reunited with their family a short time later. The district released a statement saying in part, quote, "We're deeply concerned about this occurrence and are carefully reviewing our transportation and dismissal procedures with particular attention to safeguards for our youngest students." You can read more from the district on our website. That's WSAV.com. Meanwhile, district officials say they are conducting a thorough review of the incident. We have reached out to school leaders. We're still waiting to hear back from them. We'll continue to follow this story, though. We'll bring you updates as we learn more. 6:03 on your Monday morning, looking live out there, out over the Bull River. Some sunlight to kick off your day. Alyssa Carsley's here this morning. She has your weather on the 3s. Alyssa, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ben. We're starting off the day, of course, the beautiful sunrise, but of course, as the sun continues to pop up, we all know what that means. Temperatures are going to continue to increase. Even right now, as you step out the door, as the kids head to the bus stop, it's warm, it's muggy, back into the 70s, watching for that mixture of sunshine and clouds throughout the day. It's mainly close to a typical summertime day. Slightly lower chance of rain than what we saw over the weekend, with those isolated rain showers firing up just like clockwork after lunchtime and continuing through later on this evening before tomorrow into the end of the week we start to dry out, but our temperatures really start to heat up. So today it's definitely hot out there this afternoon, but just not nearly as hot or as sizzling as how we're going to end out the work week, where once again that July heat we were tracking all month long last month is returning for at least a few short days, possibly reaching the upper 90s to around 100 degrees by Thursday and Friday. So 94 degrees today doesn't sound too bad overall. 95 though in Pembroke and Richmond Hill, and 96 degrees in Darien. So as we go into the next couple of days, definitely tracking that summer heat returning. We'll talk about all that and how long that summer heat's going to last for, coming up in just around 10 minutes.
Alyssa, thank you. Continuing coverage right now. 6 Savannah Police Department employees, including 4 officers, are now out of a job following an investigation into the misuse of the city's flock camera system. All 6 were originally put on leave after a review of the system activity found searches that were conducted for purposes not related to law enforcement. SPD's investigation determined that the employees violated department policies for the use of department resources. Those searches involve personal connections and family members, and an instance where an officer gave access to the flock system to someone in another law enforcement agency.
Because we take data privacy and oversight seriously, every search conducted in the flock system leaves a permanent digital footprint recording the user, date, time, and stated reason. So out of those nearly 40,000 searches this year, the automated audit tool flagged 127 entries that warranted a closer look due to discrepancies between the listed search reasons and the search patterns.
In a statement, Savannah Mayor Van Johnson said in part, quote, "Technology is a powerful tool for keeping Savannah safe, but with that power comes an equally important responsibility to use it lawfully and appropriately. Misuse cannot and will not be tolerated," end quote. The fired employees have not been identified, and a criminal investigation by the GBI is ongoing. The misuse of flock cameras is not just a problem locally. The debate over automated license plate readers is growing nationwide. Some critics say the nationwide surveillance network is invading our privacy. News Nation's Bennett Haberly is breaking down the camera controversy.
At intersections across the country, flock cameras capture the make, model, and license plate numbers of every car that drives by. Law enforcement can then store that data on average of 30 days, regardless of whether that person has committed a crime. Flock says more than 12,000 communities across the country rely on their tech, and that it's helped solve 1 million crimes, including recovering stolen cars and helping to locate thousands of missing children.
I started this company with my two co-founders because we believe that everyone has a fundamental right to be safe.
But critics of the company, like the open source website DFlock and the ACLU, say its capabilities are too far-reaching. In recent weeks, police officers in multiple states are being investigated for misuse. An officer in North Carolina lost her job after using flock data to look up her partner's ex-wife dozens of times. Her former police chief said this week other officers are also under investigation.
It's been a game changer for us, what we've been able to accomplish here. But it all goes up in smoke when you have cops like this violating the systems.
I think it's an important conversation we should have. To be clear, any level of abuse, greater than zero, of flock or any police tool is unacceptable. When you're given power, which is what we give to local law enforcement, accountability has to be there. And so as we were talking about earlier, we introduced a tool 9 years ago, an audit log. We've continued to make improvements on that.
Flock CEO says their internal auditing tool can track anytime anyone conducts a search. It's something they've upgraded in the last 4 months. But it's not the first time Flock has had to course correct. Last summer, an Illinois police department discovered that other law enforcement agencies across the country had accessed their Flock data unbeknownst to them. Flock ended up closing a backdoor loophole, but the controversy stuck. Dozens of local governments across the country have canceled or rejected their Flock contracts, including Oak Park, a Chicago suburb. Their mayor, Vicki Skaman, spoke with News Nation about the decision.
It was very challenging to try to balance keeping all of our communities safe and protecting human rights. But at the end of the day, our Constitution and human rights has to always win.
Do you have any regrets about canceling the contract?
No, I do not.
That was Bennett Haberly reporting. WSAV is your local election headquarters. Voters in South Carolina will head to the polls tomorrow to make their choice on who will replace late Senator Lindsey Graham on the ballot. It's a crowded field, too, vying for that position. Among those, interim Senator Darlene Graham, Congressman Ralph Norman and Russell Fry, and former South Carolina Governor and Congressman Mark Sanford are all in the running. If necessary, there is a runoff scheduled for August 25th. The winner of the special primary faces Democratic candidate Dr. Annie Andrews coming up in November. Meanwhile, President Trump will host a tele-rally today to support Darlene Graham's run for a full term in her late brother's seat. The president has endorsed Graham to take over her brother's spot on the ballot in November. And here in Georgia tomorrow morning, Republican U.S. Senate candidate Mike Collins will be here in Savannah for a breakfast meet and greet. He'll be at the Palmetto Clubhouse at 8 a.m. Registration is still available if you'd like to attend. Collins faces incumbent Democratic Senator Jon Ossoff in November. To stay up to date with the elections and all of the candidates in both South Carolina and Georgia ahead of November, go to WSAV.com/electionHQ.